All right, I thought we might start with what's your why for competing in HYROX? Why do you do it?
Yeah, this is a very good question because it seems easy to answer this, but it's not. It's not. And I think the why can change. I mean, when I started in IROX 3 years ago, my why was very easy, and I actually never thought about it in a very deeply way. I went with the flow and do my workouts and do my races and was fine. But when I raised the game, when the elite stuff and everything, and working out every day is not so easy sometimes. I needed to go a little bit deeper and find my why. So the why, I think, is the main motivation. Maybe when you have bad days, you need to think about it very deeply, and it's what you need to go ahead in your routine. So my why, talking about my why, at the beginning I thought my why was my kids, but because it's very easy, to think about my why. I have 3 kids and I do it for them. But honestly, my story is very different from, I'm a very different conventional athlete. So I think I do sports not for my kids, but for myself, because I really like HYROX. I really like the community. And it is something that I do just for me. So maybe someone can think that is very, I don't know, maybe not the ideal why, but it's right for me. I don't think there is a good or bad why. I mean, it's a very personal.
Is it
So
is it
for
for
me,
you? Sorry, because you enjoy it, or because you want to be healthier and fitter? Is it just yeah?
no, because I wanna, I mean, it's something that I feel it's for me. Like, um, very briefly, my story. I got my first kids when I was 21, so very young. And after that, my life was for my kids, for my family. So the things that I was doing for myself were like very few. And if I could work out, it was like at the end of the day when I could.
Mhm.
So when I started to do some races, I felt that thing that I never experienced before. And I decided to do it for me because I enjoy it, because I really think it's something that is good for me.
Yeah, it's like your thing, your time to do what
Yeah.
you want for you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Love that. All right. Thank you. So let's talk about your sporting background. What were you doing when you were younger? What sports were you doing before HYROX?
Yeah, when I say I'm an conventional athlete, it's because of my background, because I did figure skating in Italy, but when I was very young. So I stopped when I was 17 for college, and after that, like almost nothing, like 2, 3 times a day, 2, 3 times a week in the gym when I could. I didn't run at all. For me, 5K was like a marathon. So I always thought that I wasn't built for running. And yeah, so it wasn't my priority for sure. And so no background. I started with HYROX in 2021, April 2021, and I was doing this open race. I really liked it. And then I saw Lauren Weeks in that same race, and I fell in love with this kind of woman. So very strong, very competitive. I am very competitive in everything I do. So I was there at the fence and say, okay, I want to be there.
So where do you think your levels of fitness come from? I often people often like ask or wonder if there's any similarities in the elites and any traits and things like that. And often I don't think there is. But one is that they very commonly have been doing this type of thing for years and years and years. But it doesn't sound like you have. have you always just been like naturally fit? Was the figure skating stuff when you were younger? Did that get you in really good shape at the time?
I think maybe I have, I mean, naturally I can run because when I started after HYROX, with HYROX, I keep the pace very easy. But as you see, my races, I don't have the engine, I don't have the volume that other athletes like Lauren, like Meg, like Chris, they have a huge volume in their legs, in their body, and I don't have it. So my races always start good, and then maybe I go a little bit down. I'm working on it. This off season is all about this. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I worked hard. When I decided to commit with HYROX, I never skip, I mean, never, say never skip a workout. I am very, I always think about my why and why I do this, where I want to go, where's my goal. So I don't know. I don't know. I really think that, of course, Mother Nature helps me in this, but I had this big dream, not very humble maybe, but you know, when you dream, you don't have to be humble. You just dream big and keep that dream, you know, get this fire grow and grow, and maybe this is the secret.
Okay, awesome. So you mentioned you're a mum. Can you talk a bit about like your life? Like obviously, like being at the level you're at does require a lot of training, but you're a mum to three children, right?
Yeah, three girls. Three
Yeah.
girls. They are 14, 7, and 4.
Okay. And you're with Luca. Luca's your partner. He's also got three children as well, right?
Yeah, and Luca has 3 girls too, so 6 combined.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. I know.
Do you work as well, or are you full-time athlete
Yeah,
now?
I work as well. I do a totally different job. I was a pregnancy coach, but I mean, I cannot do this anymore because my main job is related to photo editing. So I do Photoshop for fashion brands, so something totally different. And so my main thing now are this my job and, you know, training for HYROX.
It's a busy life, presumably. How do
Oh,
you
super busy. Yeah.
how do you fit it all in? Is it just like prioritization? Like presumably you have to cut some stuff out of your life to make it all work, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you need to set your goals, and when you choose to add something in your life, I mean, for me, when I choose to add something in my life, I need to ask myself, is this good for your goals? Is this good for your why? Yes, no, and then I choose. But yes, it's a busy life because, you know, also, I mean, 1 week in Colorado, 1 week in Florida. So it's a lot.
Okay. Let's talk about last season. So you ultimately qualified for the Elite 15 race at the World Championships in Nice. You raced at most of the majors. How and qualified for the World's the last chance qualifier. How would you describe the season? There was like a few ups and downs right throughout the
Oh,
season.
yeah.
So
Yeah, actually, every season, every HYROX season has something for me to learn. And yeah, this last season was very weird because I started the season with a good level of fitness in Chicago, and I broke my finger at the very first lap. And yeah, but I was there, and in my mind, I was like, okay, you're here. I know the finger is broken because I knew it from the very first second.
what
But
did you do? How did you break that for people that don't know?
we were running all together, very first lap, and Meg was in front of me. She closed at the first or second turn, and I touched her shoe, and I fell, and the finger went through the fence.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like a second. I stand up and I saw the finger. So I did this move and let's go. Yeah, I mean, it was tough that race, but I really wanted to finish. And that race, I finished in fifth, and that fifth place gave me the opportunity to race the other majors. So
What was your like? Presumably, you were in a lot of pain throughout that race. Where did your mind go during it?
yeah, I was running and I was yelling, Luca, I broke my finger. And he was like, no, it's fine. You can go. He really didn't understand that it was very broken. But anyway, the worst station was the burpees because I couldn't control the finger. So every time I went down, it went through the carpet. So it was a mess. The pain came after, honestly. I just couldn't control, and my focus was a lot on the finger. I was paying attention on every movement because, you know, every station needs all hand.
Mhm.
So, you know, I just wanted to finish. The adrenaline and the competition spirit did the rest.
Okay, all right, amazing. And then after that, so I know you had another race that you weren't happy with in Vienna.
Mm.
Um, what was that down to? I think you got a penalty that day, didn't you? For
Yeah, huge one. Yeah, I got penalty it was a big deal at that race because I did the penalty at the pool and without any warning, and they made me do almost the whole length instead of 5 meters.
Hmm.
So I lost too much time. I knew that I couldn't uh, get it. I didn't have the fitness that I wanted, but anyway, I knew I couldn't get 1 2 minutes. I don't remember how much I lost there. And then my focus were like my mind were away. I did 2 more laps. I mean, it was a horrible race, but I learned a lot. You know, I'm a very young athlete, so I can learn from every fall for sure.
What do you think you learned from that? Was it just that like you shouldn't let something like a penalty like distract you and lead to future mistakes? Was that the main takeaway that you felt you came away from that race with?
For sure, the first hour was very tough because, you know, I was like, okay, I don't belong here. I don't have to be here. Why I do this to me? But after I always have an hour to think about the race. But after that, you know, I started to be more focused on the movements. Like every station, every move, every step is counts. Everything counts. It's seconds is mistake that you can not do and gain seconds, gain fatigue, not fatigue. I mean, less fatigue. So I was more focused on every movement and more specific on the movement
Okay. Okay.
in the race.
And then ultimately you qualified in Anaheim at the last chance qualifier, which was a fantastic performance on the day. Did you? I think you felt like maybe that had been coming for a while. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure.
Had
Yeah.
you done anything different in between like Vienna, say, and Anaheim, like training wise or anything like that, or was it just you just needed the
Absolutely.
right race to go for you?
No, no, absolutely. Before Vienna, I was working, I mean, as a young athlete, as I told you, I couldn't do 4 hours, 5 hours of training a day because if I was doing that from the beginning, my body couldn't handle it and injuries could happen every time. So I was training like 1 hour and a half, 1 hour, maybe two sometimes a day. And then we had a great conversation with Anthony Parassini, And he was telling us totally different things that I was doing, like also how much volume of training you need to compete at this level. And from Vienna to Anaheim, I raised my volume from 1.5 hours to 3.5 hours a day. And in Anaheim, I totally felt it.
Did you, like, I appreciate you don't come from that background where they've got that high volume, but did you feel like you transitioned from like 1.5 to 3.5 hours a day reasonably well in training? Was that easy enough for you to do? You coped with it?
Yeah. I mean, I had 8 weeks between the two races, so I knew I could handle it. So yeah, it was pretty easy, especially because I had to, put more volume in the running or in the machines that are good stations for me. So yeah, it was pretty easy. You need to find a way to put that time, because with kids, with traveling, with work, you need to find that time. But if you really want something, I really believe that you are able to find a way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, nice. And then let's talk about Nice briefly. So the Elite 15 race on the Friday. uh, yeah, how was that? How was the whole experience? The race, like the experience, the atmosphere, everything.
I mean, the experience was amazing. I mean, HYROX is treating the athletes in a way that I think no other sports is doing. So I really, I'm really thankful for HYROX team. They are doing an amazing job, not just like for the company, but also for the athletes. They really, I feel like they really respect us as athletes and persons. So the experience was amazing I think for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The venue was very beautiful, but very hot and humid. Many athletes had problems with cramps, but for me, my personal experience, I arrived in Nice very fit. I was ready, Greg. I was ready, and my goal wasn't to participate to the race, but to compete for the podium. So the first part of the race for me was where I wanted to be. I don't remember exactly where I was, but I was third or fourth at the sleds, and I wanted to be there. But then after the burpees, I started to feel like I started to see black, and my legs were so heavy. So I did my best, but at some point my body wasn't there. So I arrived at the wall balls, and maybe I don't know if I had to stop or not, but I, as I told you, I'm very competitive. So I was there. I had to, keep my hand on the judge because I couldn't stand by myself. And I was throwing this ball, but I couldn't see the target. So I did like maybe 300 wall balls. I don't know how many, because one was good, one was not up. So I was like just throwing the ball. But I remember I was at 40, and I was like, okay, I don't know how I can do other 60, but I saw all the people, they were cheering, they were there to see something. And I asked myself, okay, what do you want to, what's the message you want to give to these people at this point? You're not going to win. You're not going to do the best race of your life, but okay, let's do it together. Let's finish this race anyway, because HYROX is a race with yourself first. You race always with your time, with your fitness, and then you compete with other people. But the message I wanted to give to everybody is like, okay, you can, okay, it's tough, but you can push through it, you can finish the race.
Yeah, amazing. It must have been incredibly tough if it was like from the burpees onwards as well. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a long time, you know.
it's a long time.
But hopefully, like, talk on here a lot of times about like previous experiences helping you in future races, like that kind of tough experience, like when you've got
Yeah,
through something like
I
that.
don't know what kind of mistake I do exactly. Maybe it's not one, maybe it's a combination of something. It's always like that. But maybe I didn't eat as I always do, like, I mean, carbs, I mean, electrolytes. I don't know if it's for the pressure or I don't know. But I didn't, for example, I didn't eat my banana an hour before, or the breakfast wasn't like I usually do. I couldn't finish my oatmeal. So there's something that I am thinking about that maybe could be different. But I was there at that point, and the only thing I could do is finish the race.
Yeah. You certainly weren't the only one that struggled that weekend with the heat. You
Yeah.
know, there was a lot of people. Um, uh, just while we're on these, how about the relay? You captained Italy on the Sunday. How was that experience? You enjoy that?
Amazing, amazing. I really hope HYROX will continue to do that because, I mean, from the people I heard, it was so much fun to watch. So
Yeah.
the funnest race to watch, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. When I was starting to warm up, I didn't know how I could do other wall balls. My legs were still super sore and very, I didn't know how I was. But when I was on the floor, I was there and we started the race. Eugenio started with the skier. He did amazing. And Giuseppe went to the push. And then, it was my turn and something fired up. And I and the pool, and I got the best pool ever because I entered almost with Alex Ronchevich, and then we went out way before them, I think, or way before, but before them for sure, because we were second at that point. So the race was on again for us, and we lost some positions on the burpees, and I tried to do everything I could. But when I started my last run with Megan, she was one lap before me. So I mean, I knew that I couldn't keep that pace and get one more lap. But anyway, we got fourth. I mean, it's amazing. Also because Alessia, the other woman, is not an Elite 15. So the other team has a lot of Elite 15. Also, Giuseppe is not an Elite 15. But they're great athletes. I think they can do great this season.
Wouldn't if it is the same setup next season and you're captain, would you change the tactics or the team selection in any way? Like some teams went for specialists in the row and the ski and things like that. Have you thought about that? Would you do anything different? Do you know?
No, I think we if I have to do it again, and we will do it again, we can keep the same. She needs to pace herself maybe a little bit better, but this is experience, this is just experience from running, because she can do very good burpees, but she was very, I mean, her run was too fast to keep that pace on the burpees that we wanted. So she just needs to pace herself, and we can do great. Yeah,
Okay.
we are very
All
excited.
right. Great. Um, how is off season going at the moment? Are you training well?
Yeah, I'm training well. I mean, this off season was very busy, but yeah, I'm training well, and I mean, heavy training, the specific training is already started because Amsterdam is in 8 weeks. So before than we expected. I was thinking about November for the first major, but it's October, and fine, good. We will be ready for it. So 8 weeks, and today is the first day of the cycle. So I'm very I'm very happy about it. I can't wait to race. You know, when you finish the World Championship, you are like, okay, fine. I'm very ready for the off season, but now I really want to race because I miss it.
Are you still putting in like the sort of volume that you said you were after Vienna? Is like 3 hours a day, for example, on average?
Yeah, now I'm trying to go more with 4 a day, 4 hours a day, to see how my body can respond to it. But it's pretty nice also because, you know, in 4 hours I try to do at least 2 hours or easy volume on the machines, on the run. So it's not 4 hours of high intensity. And when I do the 2 days of high intensity, I don't do 4 hours. I do maybe less, two and a
Mhm.
half. It depends on the workout.
How much are you running in a week? Like, what's the mileage that you're covering in a week?
Yeah, you know, when I'm here in Colorado, I go with a watch because in the trails, the mileage is, of course, different. And it depends. I can say 35, 40 a week.
Miles, yeah.
Miles, yeah.
Okay, okay. And do you know what like your 5K, 10K, half marathon time might be?
I don't know. Actually, I was very surprised at the time in the CrossFit Games. I don't know if you see it, but the Tia Toomey did 5:28 in the mile, and the guy Garar
Ricky
did
Garrard, yeah.
under five. Sorry, I was shocked about their timing. I didn't expect that. They're doing great. So I don't measure my time in the mile, the 5K. I did 5K one time, and I think it was, I don't remember the numbers. So I can say something wrong for sure.
Okay, okay. I think that's the like my perception with the CrossFit Games athletes is like over a mile they could be quick. I wonder how they'd hold up over like 10K, for example.
Yeah, also because, you know, Garard raced with JK long
Mhm.
time ago, and JK destroyed him.
Yeah,
So, you know, I don't know if JK do under five, maybe. I don't know, but it is a very fast time.
yeah, yeah. Um, uh, is there anything in particular you're focused on in training in the off season and the lead up to Amsterdam that you feel particularly that you need to work on to compete? Like you've talked about, you were hoping to podium in Nice, for example. What is it that you feel you need to get right?
For sure, my nutrition for before the race, so the carb load, and I had some good tips from Pelayo. He gave me his protocol, and I'm gonna try it for sure. But on the training side, I did a strength cycle that I usually do every off season, and it is great. The strength cycle is great for me because I gain, especially after this last season, because after I broke my finger, I lost a lot of strength because I couldn't do anything with the barbell for months. So I lost a lot, and this training cycle gave me a lot of confidence because I saw my numbers from last year, and I'm there. So it's good. You know, you don't need these huge uh you don't need these huge weights
Mm-hmm.
for HYROX and this strength, huge strength, but it's good to do it during the off season so you can keep it during the season, maintain. And yeah, volume. And I'm also doing now. I'm working on explosivity. That is great for, you know, sleds and every stations. So I don't do just weights, but I work on explosivity. And yeah, I mean, my run, the running is always there. I mean, every cycle I do run is always there with me.
Is it from a running perspective? Are you like? Is it a lot of easy zone two work you're doing? Are you doing a lot of threshold? Are you doing a lot of VO2 max stuff? Do you skew towards one of those more than other athletes might? Do you think or not?
I do for sure zone two. Zone 2 is a must, I think, for everybody. For me in particular, but for everybody. And threshold too. For me, something that works very good is long thresholds. So we were doing like 15, 12, 10 minutes of threshold. That is a nightmare, but it works very
What sort of rest period do you have between those rounds?
We had 2 minutes,
Okay.
5 minutes. I don't remember, but I can
Okay.
text you the workout.
And Luca, your partner, is he doing your coaching for you at the
Yeah,
moment?
yeah, totally, totally. He's doing my coaching from the very first moment. And I wasn't the easiest partner or the easiest athlete to train, maybe, but he knows me better than myself. He knows where I have to where I have to work on. He knows he's a nerd. He knows every numbers. He's a big friend with Anthony, and they are very similar. They see every numbers. They are very um, specific, and I love this kind of stuff because I don't like numbers. So he knows like every my weights, my max in deadlift. He knows everything. So it's very easy for me to be trained from Luca.
Okay, good. I was going to ask, like, how does it work as a dynamic? Like, do you argue over the training or anything like that, or does it
No,
work pretty
no,
well?
no, no.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that if you tell me what I have to do, I'm doing it, and then we can talk later.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
that way
All
I'm
right.
easy.
You mentioned he's a bit of a nerd, and I've heard you talk on, I think it was the RMR podcast with Rich Ryan, about you were doing some glucose monitoring in your training. Is that something you're still doing and find helpful?
Actually, it's something that I want to do before the season for sure. It is helpful for me. When I did it the first time, I saw that my glucose had a huge drop after around 30 minutes of the race. So I knew when I have to get the gel or sugar. But it's so interesting to see how your body react to every workout, to every food. So it's something that you learn something about your body. So it was very helpful for me.
So you'd say that's doing that has impacted like your nutrition around your training and racing, would you say? And you benefit from that?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
All right. Interesting. Um, let's talk about mindset and where your mind goes like during a race when things get tough. What do you think about to push you on?
Yeah, like I was telling you about the why, I wasn't focusing on my thoughts during the race. I was just okay. Let's start the race. Let's finish the race and do the best I can in the middle of this hour and something. And but from Anaheim, I started to visualize a lot, and it was very helpful. And I started to visualize not just the best case scenario, but also the worst case scenario. Like, okay, it's gonna be here, you're gonna be very fatigued. Maybe you're telling yourself is enough, you can slow down. Maybe you're by yourself. Maybe you don't need to push as much as you should. How do you want to respond? What do you want to tell yourself in that situation? So it helped me a lot. So it's something that I'm doing. Mm, I don't say daily, but this is something I want to do daily for sure. So
Okay.
visualize. And of course, before the race, because you build your strength also in the mind before the race, not in the race day, because it's too late. And yeah, I read a lot of book. I listen a lot of book when I do my zone 2 training. And this is something that you know, when you feed your mind with the right things, it's easier to start to think in the way that you want when you think about that. So yeah, I listen to a lot of books, and when I work out, I listen to motivational speech. So yeah, the mental part, especially in every sport, but especially in HYROX, is huge, because you know it's not just to be prepared to arrive at the event very fit, but to have a lot in the tank, but it's also how much you can give of what you have. So how much you can, you know, do the workout. And the last station is all mental. You know, the wall balls are like you against you in this workout. And yeah, maybe if I have to pick one thing that helped me mentally is the visualization.
Okay, interesting. Do you it like through the wall balls, for example? I agree, it is totally mental at that point. Is there a mantra or like something you're telling yourself to get through that? I appreciate maybe you've decided that in the visualization before, but what's the internal voice at that point?
I just count and I go 5 by 5. I know that it helps me. I do it in training, so I do also in the race. But I know if I can keep it until the 70, 75, I can go unbroken. So in my mind, it's just okay, keep it until 75, and then I don't think I just count.
Okay, all right, awesome. You talked about Amsterdam, like the race coming up in 8 weeks or whenever it is, which is the first major of the season, and it's a slightly new qualifying process for those majors this year. Are you happy with how that looks?
I mean, I am happy because, you know, in this with the combination of the average of 2 races, you avoid the problem of the fast race that all of us know. But you know, especially for the first 2 races, for the first 2 majors, there's no other races for athletes to go to have the average, because I now I'm thinking about Maria, and she's gonna go to Toronto, but she can't be in Amsterdam because you know there's no race before that. So and I think also about Eugenio, the other Italian athlete, he does not have any race to go to get a time, or reach too. So you know there's pros and cons for sure. I like the average. And I also like the thing that every major has 3 spots for the worlds. I mean, it's easier to understand for people, and it's also more fun to watch, because sometimes, I mean, last season, Lauren and Meg were leading the season, the whole season. So, you know, it's more competitive for everybody. You know, you have 3 spots every time, so the race is more fun, you know, to do and to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Is Amsterdam going to be your next race? You got anything before that?
No, I'm gonna do Amsterdam, and I'm thinking to do Milan the week after, so the weekend after Amsterdam, and I'm thinking to do the pro and the double with Luca. So let's see.
Okay.
And yeah, but yeah, the first race will be Amsterdam for sure.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So a few final questions I wanted to finish up with one is what's your best sporting experience that you've ever had in your lifetime?
I don't have many, so I think one of the HYROX races, and the one that I'm thinking is maybe Manchester. I mean, for the race itself, maybe it's Anaheim, but for the experience, it's maybe Manchester, the World Championship in Manchester, because for me it was a tough decision to participate in the age group instead of stay at home, because I wasn't in the elite wave. And when I finished it and I won overall, I was so happy. And so maybe that one, the best.
Yeah. I should say for people that don't appreciate that, so you were the fastest female pro on the day at the Manchester out of all the age groupers, and it felt like, in my mind at least, and I think probably yours, like because of that spurred you on and like gave you the belief, if anything, that you could be in the elites going forward and that you could compete.
Yeah. And a very nice thing to remember is that I was there competing with Zara and Maria Fecik, and we went at the finish line together, and I was hugging them because it was a very tight race. And I told them, guys, next year we will be all together in the Elite 15. And it was like that. And I was so happy.
Nice, awesome. How about your toughest sporting experience?
If you, for this experience itself, maybe because I did a few obstacle races in my life, but very few. It's not my thing, for sure. I can't do. No, it's not for me.
Same.
I can do myself just seeing that thing. So maybe one Spartan race. The first one I did like maybe 150 burpees because I couldn't do any. So, not that one. And for the experience and for the feelings, maybe Nice, because it was like the toughest experience for my body, for sure, to finish. And also it was very sad because I was very ready to compete, but my body did not follow my my actually.
Yeah. How about if there's like one piece of advice that someone's given you for HYROX training or something that you've discovered, like what's the best thing that springs to mind?
To be aggressively patient. This is maybe the best thing that someone told me. And what I mean is that you have to be patient because the results won't come quick, especially in my position. I need to build a lot of stuff. I need to build also my athlete mentality. So, you need to be patient, but you need to be aggressive too. You can be, okay, I know I need another year. I know I need another month. I know I need, no, you need to be on point at every workout. Do it on purpose, like you're going to win the world championship, but also you need to be patient. And, if something doesn't go as planned, it's fine. Something where you can learn a lesson for sure.
Mm. Aggressively patient. I love that. That's good. That's good. And then the final question: if you could plant one idea or piece of advice into the mind of everyone listening right now, and it could be anything, doesn't have to be HYROX specific, what would it be?
Don't waste your time. And, especially after these CrossFit Games, don't waste your time in anything you want. You have to dream big on anything in your life. This could be, you want to be the best mom ever, or you want to do that thing you always dream about, or you want to do this in your job, you want to achieve this goal in sport. Work for it and don't waste any second, because life is one, and it's not, could be very short, could be very long, you don't know. So don't waste any opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, brilliant. All right, well, thank you for this. It's been fantastic. If people want to follow you, find out more about you, what you're doing, where should they go? What should they do?
Yeah, on Instagram for sure, Camilla Massa Athlete. The community is huge and is amazing for HYROX. So this is something that this is one thing that keep me here in HYROX more than anything. The community, the people, And some people, some maybe more moms text me and send me messages about your inspiration, and I'm so happy about that, guys. I'm so happy. If you see a light on me, you have the light too. So keep it shining.
Amazing. All right, brilliant. Thank you. Good luck for the season, and I will talk to you again
Thank you
soon.
so much. Yeah, talk to you. Thank you, Greg.